Hi, Seven, and welcome to our week 2 lecture. This week we're going to be continuing on from what Mrs. Cronin talked about last week, and we'll learn a bit more about the music alphabet, and we're going to learn a bit more about how people write down they use pictures to write instructions to tell you what to play on a piano or a guitar or any instrument. Okay, so let's begin. This slide here just has a table of all the work that we're doing in music this week. I'm not going to explain it much more than that, but you can pause the video and just read through it if that makes it, if you'd like to read through it a bit more. So let's start with a quick starter activity. Can I get you to, inside your books, draw 5 treble clefs inside a stave? Now, just a reminder that a stave is just 5 horizontal lines. And if you want a bit of a guide on how to draw it, just follow these steps here. Can you please draw 5 of them? Pause the video and then we'll continue on. Okay, cool. So to start this week, I just want to explain that we use pictures in music to give you instructions for what to play on an instrument. It doesn't always have to be a piano. It could be a guitar or a violin or lots of other instruments. But we use these pictures here, and it's nice. It's really easy to learn about it if we talk about it using a piano. So if you don't play the piano, that's okay. But let's use the piano today to learn about the music alphabet and to learn about these treble lines and spaces. Okay, cool. So how do we name the sounds on an instrument? Well, we use letters, okay, and we use just the first 7 letters of the alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. At the end of those 7 letters, we just start the alphabet again. We go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then we start back at A and go up to G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, start again. A, B, C, and we continue on. It's nice and simple that way. The music alphabet is just A to G. Okay? So what I would like you to do is just to study a bit on how the music alphabet works on the piano. And we have some patterns that I would need you to notice. So can you copy this into your book by pausing the video, answer them, and then I will go through the answers in a moment. Can you please pause the video now? Rightio, so you should have copied this into your book with the date at the top left-hand corner of the page. And let's start with question 1. What is the pattern of the black notes on the piano? Well, look closely and you should be able to see that they are grouped into 2s and then 3s. We've got 2 black notes here quite close together, and then we've got 3 black notes here quite close together, and then it does that pattern again: 2, 3, and then starts again: 2, 3. It does that the whole way up the piano from the bottom to the top of it. It groups those black notes into 2s and 3s. And that should lead us on to question number 2. Is every C in a similar position? It's a bit of a weird question, so I'll go through the answer. Yes, every C is left of the 2 black notes. So if we go to these 2 black notes here and look just to the left of them, and you'll see that's where C is. Let's go to the next 2 black notes. And they are on the left of those 2 black notes. And that is the same for every C on the keyboard. They are left of the 2 black notes. Okay, cool. So once you learn the patterns on the piano, it's really easy to figure out all the names of the notes, because really all you need to know is just one grouping of that pattern. We've got 2 black notes, 3 black notes, and this is where all the letters of the alphabet sit next to all those black notes. Okay, so let's play a bit of a game. Can you name these notes? Now you just need to go up the alphabet. So on a piano, we call each of these buttons keys. So can you name that key? Just go up the alphabet: A, B, and this should be a C. Very good. So what is the name of this note? A, B, C, D, E. Very good. What about this one? It's a bit further away. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And after G, we start the alphabet again. So this must be an A. Very good. Okay, cool. So what if we go backwards? What if we go to the left down the keyboard? To help me with this, with these sort of questions, you might find it easier just to write out the music alphabet twice at the bottom of the page and just go backwards. So this is one before A, so we've got A here, and it must be a G. Very good. So what if we have a note a bit further away? Can you figure that one out? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 notes left of A. So A, 1, 2, 3, 4. This should be a D. Very good. So that's how the music alphabet works on the piano. Rightio. So we need to start thinking about, because like the piano is very, very big, and we need to divide the piano into two parts. We need to divide it into a low part and a high part. We do that very simply by finding the C closest to the middle of the piano, and that's about here. It's not in the perfect middle of the piano, but that's how we divide the piano into the low part and the high part. Any note higher than that C, which is what we call middle C, is what we call the treble, and treble literally means high. Any note below middle C is in the bass, and bass just means low. Now, you can see middle C on the treble stave over here, on the grand stave, and it's right in the middle of the treble and the bass clef. Now, we're going to focus this term on the treble stave. You're not going to be given any questions on the bass, so I'm not going to go through it in this lecture. Okay, cool. So, just a reminder, we use pictures to tell us what to play on these keyboard. And now you can hopefully starting to notice we've got the music alphabet on the keyboard, and we've also got the music alphabet up here. Now, if a note is drawn up high, it means it plays higher notes on the piano. If it's drawn down low, it plays lower notes. Okay, cool. So we're going to use, let's move to this picture. We're going to use middle C as a bit of a reference point, okay? You've got the E just above middle C, and that is this E on a piece of paper. This bottom line next to the treble clef is what we call E, and it tells you to play the note, just the E, just above middle C. And likewise, this next note is an F, it's in a space, and it tells you to play this F note on the piano. Here's another way that you can think about it, okay? I will put in a C note here, right? You can see that it's highlighted that C. Remember, C's left of the two black notes. Now, if I move that up one, you can see it's highlighted this key on the piano because that note tells you to play this note on the piano. Now, we're learning about notes on the lines today in the treble clef. So this one here, sorry for the noise, we're learning about the lines. So this bottom line here tells you to play this note on the piano, and that is the E. Okay, cool. So let's continue on. Last week you learnt about the treble space notes. So I just want to run through some revision questions to see if you can remember the names of these notes. It's nice and easy because all of these space notes, they spell face if you read them going upwards. Remember, going upwards, they spell face. Let's go through some questions. For the first few of them, I'm going to have this guide up the top that you can look at to help you answer these questions. So basically the question is, what is the name of this note? It's an A because it's in the second bottom space. Okay, let's go. That's nice and easy. It's in the bottom space, so it's an F, F-A-C, F-A-C-E. Okay, cool. Rightio. So now we're going to do a couple of questions without the guide. Just try to remember that the space notes, the ones that are in between these two lines, they spell face. Okay, that one there is an A. That's an E. C. Rightio. It's time to move on to our treble line notes. If we circle all of the treble line notes, they have these lines going straight through them. Okay, that's how we discern between them. If they haven't got a line going through them, it's a space note. If they have got a line going through them, it's a line note. Now, if we group them together, we get E, G, B, D, F. It doesn't spell a word quite as nicely as face does. So what we've done in music is we've given them a sentence each, just to help us remember them. I learnt this when I was about 9 years old and I started learning the piano. My piano teacher sat me down and said that the line notes are every good boy deserves fruit. And I've heard every other musician I've ever met use the same system. So we're going to learn it in music here as well. So can I get you to copy down this entire slide and memorize the lines are every good boy deserves fruit going upwards. Pause the video and then we'll go through some questions. Okay, cool. So likewise before, we're going to go through some questions and we've got the guide up here. Once the guide goes away, I will just run through the questions quite quickly. Okay, here we go. Every good boy deserves fruit, so it's an F note. Every good, so it's G. Every good boy, so that's a B. E for every. Every good boy deserves. Okay, cool. So now we've had an example of all of those letters. Let's lose the guide and see if you can get these right. That's a B. E. G. F. And D. Rightio. Let's play a bit of a memory game now, revising the work that you've done on lines and spaces. So the first thing that you're going to do in this game, it's very similar to what we just did, but you first need to figure out, is it a line note or a space note? So it's a line note if it's got a line going through it, and it's a space note if it does not, if it's in between these two lines, nice and snug. If it's a space note, spell face, and if it's a line note, say every good boy deserves fruit. Okay, cool. Here we go. That's a space note, and it's FA. That's also a space note, F. That's a line note, so we need to say the sentence. Every good boy deserves fruit. Okay, cool. It's also a line note. It's a G for good. B, space note, so it's a C. E for every. B for boy. It's the top space. FACE. It's a line note and it's D, E, F, G, F, A, D, E, C. So that's the end of this week's lecture. You're going to be given questions in this week's quiz, very similar to what we just did. Can you remember the names of the line notes and the space notes? Can you find the notes on the piano and give them the correct name? And remember, the music alphabet is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If you do need any help during the quiz, you can always go back to this lecture and just have it open. But I also recommend that while you're watching these lectures, you're making notes and you look back at your notes while completing the quiz. It will help you remember the work that you've done. And by revising the work that you've done, you'll learn it even better. Please fill out the exit slip question for this week. I will collect them and make a tutorial video for you to watch on Wednesday, and that will help you with the quiz as well.